So now, how dare you characterize yourself as a close friend of his? How dare you? And you know why you did that? Because it sounds a lot better. Hey, we're all buddies. We're all hanging out.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. If we weren't close friends, then why would he talk to me? If I kept bullying him, then why would he keep talking to me during class periods, during class time? Why didn't he go to the office and say, hey, this guy's bullying me? He didn't do any of that. He could have talked to me. We always talked. I would never bully him.
Really? Do you think that that's characteristic of people who are being bullied? The reason why people continue to bully is because they don't stand up for themselves.
I wasn't bullying them, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what you say. You say it over and over and over and over, as though the behavior is inconsistent with the word. So now, let me get over to you. If you assault somebody, that assault can be justifiable in self-defense. That makes it non-criminal. Doesn't change it from being an assault. So if I look at this behavior analogous to a domestic violence situation, a situation where a woman is being repeatedly abused, either verbally or physically, then the law has this concept which is called a battered person syndrome. And what that battered person syndrome does is it sets forth behavior which would fall closely within a self-defense concept. Because the danger to you, in my mind, is the person being bullied could be bullied at any moment. And so lashing out might be just falling, in my mind, within a certain category. Now, I still don't think you should respond that way. You probably should have gone to a principal. But you, on the other hand, I know exactly who you are, and you know it.
I'm not sure that necessarily this was a bullying incident. The defendant's defense is that this was a pattern. I'm not sure this conduct rose to the level of a pattern. But nevertheless, I think you made a very good point by saying, oh, you're going to pay for the damages, but pain and suffering, that's not something that we'd be looking at.
Yeah, the context to me is important. And what the context means to me is that this wasn't isolated. I think his pain and suffering is inflated because I do think he was the initial aggressor and not just this time. So what I would throw out as a resolution is all of the medical expenses. And I think it's important to send a message to this defendant that this is not the way to resolve conflict. I would give the plaintiff $1,000 because his medical expenses were $5 and change. We don't have enough of a record, from my view, to say you have done every horrible thing in the world, so you get nothing else. I think that the defendant also needs to learn that this is not the way to process conflict. So whether or not we construe that extra money as pain and suffering, or we use our discretion to turn it into a punitive award, I would do that. But it would be $1,000 all in, not $5.
For my purposes, this plaintiff had an ongoing agenda to humiliate, demean, and bully this particular defendant. This plaintiff has all the indicia of a bully. He goes in packs. He brings people to support his position. He didn't have a parent here. This young man had his mother here, teaching him the right thing, telling him to just turn the other cheek. And at some point, he could no longer turn the other cheek. And for my purposes, I will not give this plaintiff a penny. I think the message needs to be sent to him that there's nothing that's going to be tolerated if you're going to behave that way. And I don't want to put one more nail in this defendant's coffin. I still analogize it to the ongoing battering person syndrome, wherein at some point the battered person just turns around and in many cases takes a bat and does
So in terms of the definition of self-defense, are you squeezing it into self-defense?
Well, the battered, yes, because it's not a criminal situation. This is like a preponderance kind of thing. I think that this behavior from the plaintiff over the period of time, he's got to see him, he's got to sit in class with him. I bet you there's a lot of little things that were going on here to make this kid feel uncomfortable and bullied the whole time. So in my mind, at any other point in time, this kid could have turned and done something to him. And it didn't have to be imminent, like a real true self-defense situation is. He's the initial aggressor and he can respond in kind because he feels that this could have happened with this kid at any moment. You know, look, I'm willing to be wrong, but this is how I feel. I feel strongly about not awarding this.
I think we will send the message because I'm not going to give him a penny for pain and suffering, but I do think they have to pay for the damages.
Okay. I'll join you. I'm not wedded to that message.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give him a penny.
Okay, so we have a verdict and one dissent.